One of my favorite moments as a magician, as an artist, as a creator, or even just as a person, is when I discover that all along, I've been wrong. It's easy to get stuck, performing the same way, inventing the same way, writing the same way, thinking the same way. And once in a while you meet someone whose work is so different, it makes you reconsider everything.
Sorry, dude. What's up? How are you? I'm so glad to see you. Thanks for doing this. How are you? This place is amazing. Oh, it's so good. I'll show you around. So I'm in Columbus to talk to my friend Michael Kent. He's a magician that we came up on the college circuit together, but I haven't seen him for a couple of years. So we're going to this place where he performs, and I think we're just going to hang out before a show. When we were coming up on the college circuit together, you ruined the sort of righteous indignation I had towards comedy magic, because I'm
happy to do so.
I still think that like magic can be this like really incredible, transcendent, visceral, powerful experience, right?
Sure.
And so I, having never really seen live comedy magic, thought that it was just a perfectly good waste of a magic show, right? And then I saw your showcase, and it was like, it was a moment where I discovered that comedy magic doesn't have to make fun of magic.
That's right. Yeah,
like,
there's a difference.
Really strong magic in your show.
Yeah, and there has to be strong magic first.
Right.
And I totally understand the feeling that comedy magic tends to or can weaken magic in general, because it's like the old saying that, hey, if you aren't a really good magician, you can be a comedy magician.
Right.
If you suck as a comedian,
learn a trick.
You can learn a magic trick. I think Patton Oswalt did a thing about that. So I think that if you could do magic, the way that, for me, the only reason I do comedy magic is because the audience, I've never felt confident that the audience will believe me if I present it in a way that doesn't acknowledge that sort of elephant in the room of, this is weird, you guys, do you think I'm really a wizard, or whatever. And so I just perform it as I would in my real life.
Right.
And I've always said, especially with close-up magic, the best magic mimics a social interaction. What if I was going to go up to this table at this family and talk to them? What would that look like? How would I act? And then I'd try to make my magic the same way. One of the things we practice, where we learn when we're practicing magic, is to do the move for real.
Yeah.
If you're going to fake doing something, do it for real a few times to see what that looks like. So it's like kind of a macrocosm of that concept, right? Like you're taking the show, stripping it down. What would it be if I was just on stage talking to people? Because now I know that I'm connecting with them, and I'm making a connection that I can rely on and fall back on if there weren't any magic.
Right.
So,
and that changes your relationship with the audience, because suddenly it's not built on your ability to do one trick after another. It's built on an actual human-style connection.
It doesn't matter what you do if they like you.
Right.
And for the venues that I play, I can't often do a show that has a fourth wall.
Right.
It would be silly for me to be in a college cafeteria putting on a show as if, like, you know what I mean, like doing some of the Las Vegas style theatrics while people are eating chicken fingers. It's goofy to not acknowledge the elephant in the room, that this is a stripped down performance, and so I sort of have to be very aware of where we are and the fact that I'm not on a big stage. I'm on a riser, and I'm 4 feet from where you're eating lunch and studying. There's a table of guys over there playing Magic the Gathering at every noon show.
And unless you acknowledge that, the whole show is alienating.
Totally.
It makes you look ridiculous, and it doesn't respect that they're there to eat lunch and not necessarily to see a show. You very clearly know who you are on stage. Talk me, okay, so here I guess is where I'm coming at with this question. Everything I've ever done as a magician has been an attempt to sort of say the same thing. Like I have a video of my first public show I ever did. I was 11 years old,
And it's very similar to what I'm doing now.
Really?
Like I'm trying really hard to communicate the same thing, but it took so many evolutions to figure out how to best be what I always have been trying to be on stage.
Okay.
Have you always done your show the way you're doing it now? Talk to me about how you sort of came to, because right now you seem very comfortable with who you are on stage.
In my opinion, and I may be wrong about this, but I think the only way to really know who you are on stage is stage time. Don't you think that that's...
Without question.
I think it takes probably thousands of shows.
Yeah.
Now, when I watch current video in 5 years, I'll look back and watch like video that I made last week, and I'll say, oh my God, who did I think I was?
Okay.
And I hope that it's always that way. I hope there's always this evolution.
Right.
Because I can look at videos from 2 years ago and say, oh, what was I thinking with that sentence? Like it's, these tiny little things. But I feel like I'm very comfortable knowing who I am on stage.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no problem, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Michael once wrote something about magic that has stayed with me ever since. He wrote, "Your audience will never be aware of 80% of the work you do in this business, but they would know instantly if you didn't do it. The magic is always in the details."